Now let's talk about some ways that you can go about discovering your tripwire. Now, if you remember this, recall a similar section from the tripwire module, you'll notice that a lot of these questions are very similar, if not identical. And that's because the same methodology and mindset that goes into creating a lead magnet, it's really similar to what we're talking about with the tripwire. You want it to be something exciting and sexy. In fact, a lot of times we wind up converting what people are currently giving away in a lead magnet to a tripwire and making the lead magnet something even smaller and simpler, because the biggest mistake, what I talked about in the lead magnet section, that people make is that they give away way too much. The consumption is too low, because not that I'm opposed to giving away tremendous value in a lead magnet, it's just that it's too much quantity and your visitor never really has a chance to consume it, and so it's that speed bump in the conversion funnel that we don't want. So that's why that you'll see such similarities here when it comes to discovering your tripwire, as we saw when it came to finding the hook or discovering the hook that goes into your lead magnet. So the first big thing that I like to ask people, and I like to ask our own portfolio company founders when we're looking at this, talking about what's the tripwire going to be, it's what's the one thing you can tell or show someone that will make them say, wow. What is that wow item, that wow thing? When I asked this about our client who's the CPA, he said, man, every time I show somebody this letter that I sent to my clients, they all freak out. They all say, wow. So it was the letter. That was it. It was the letter that got sent to the clients that converted all the clients from paying, one time a year to actually breaking up their payments and amortizing it throughout the year, which completely shifted his particular business. So what is that thing? What is that wow item? And ideally it is an item. It's a tangible thing. It's something that people say, wow, this is great. This is really, really, really cool. I really, really want that. Okay, so if you had 2 minutes to impress someone, what would you say or show or give them that would blow their mind? I mean, imagine this guy walking into a convention for CPAs and walking around at one of the after parties or something like that. And I'm guessing that the CPA parties are, they're either nuts or they're just completely dull. It's one of the two, right? But imagine he's walking around this party and he's hearing all these CPAs complaining about, yeah, April's coming up and I'm not looking forward to it. It's, it's going to be horrible, but hey, at least we're finally going to get paid. And they're all complaining about this feast and famine aspect of their business. And he says, actually, I was able to solve that. All my clients pay me in advance throughout the year. And wow, how'd you do that? He said, it was this. And if he pulled out the letter right then and there, they'd all be, wow, I want that, right? They'd probably be fighting over who got to take the letter with them. That's when you've got a really killer tripwire. What's the candle wick for your market, right? What's that kind of commodity item that everybody needs, but they don't necessarily want, right? What is your candle wick? So, it's kind of like what's the football phone, and they're almost opposite ends of the spectrum, right? But both ends of the spectrum can make fantastic tripwires. So what's your football phone? What's the letter that, what's that letter? What's that you would send to clients, versus what's your candle wick? What's your 10-inch big blue sediment filter, right? What's your guitar pick? So think about it in that sense. What's that thing that everybody needs, that everybody's buying? It's maybe isn't sexy, but everybody's buying it. Can you sell it at dead cost and just scoop up all the customers in a market? So that's kind of the two different paths that we think about when we're coming up with a tripwire. Is it a super cool, amazing thing or concept or hook, or is it that commodity item that everybody's got to have? And if you can sell it, one of the best ideas for a tripwire that we've come up with is somebody who was selling a course on walk yourself thin. And what we told him to do is buy pedometers. You can buy pedometers very inexpensively, and if you go out there and you get pedometers and from Alibaba.com or something else, and one of the other videos in this module we'll talk about places where you can go to source low cost premium. So let's say you go to Alibaba.com and you find pedometers for $2 or $3. Well, if you go to Amazon, everybody's selling these things for 10, 12, 18, $20. If you go ahead and you sell a pedometer for $3, or you say this pedometer is free, just pay $2.95 shipping and handling. Well, if somebody's buying a pedometer, it's because they're a walker or they're wanting to lose weight. So if you sell them that, and then you sell them a course on the back end that's your core offer on how to walk yourself thin in 30 days or less, you're going to get all the buyers, right? That's kind of the candle wick. It's maybe not a sexy item, but it's your candle wick. So think about it in those two paths. do a little brainstorming, and then try to come up with some cool tripwires for your business.